Some Filipinos may be thinking twice before stepping out under the scorching sun without wearing sunscreen. But what more can we do to keep our skin safe? Dermatologist Winlove Mojica gives us advice here on The Final Word. Dr. Mojica, good evening, and thank you for joining us this Holy Wednesday.
Good evening, Menchu. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, it is extremely hot nowadays. What are some common skin conditions that people could develop because of the heat?
Okay, there are two common skin conditions that develop during summer. These are heat rash or bungang araw and pityriasis versicolor or an-an. So first, heat rash or bungang araw is caused by the overactivity of our sweat glands. Because the sweat glands produce a lot of sweat, at one point they just give up and they get destroyed, simply put. So this causes very itchy, red bumps on our skin. Treatment includes staying in a colder environment to prevent excessive sweating. Or we could apply cold compresses on the skin. We can use a face towel and then put that, a wet face towel, put that on the refrigerator for about 10 to 15 minutes and apply on the affected area where there is heat rash. Next is pityriasis versicolor or an-an. This is caused by a fungi that lives on our skin. When our skin is so wet, the fungi overgrows and it can cause brownish or whitish spots on our body. This can be prevented by changing the clothes so that our skin doesn't get too wet, and the use of antifungal creams or shampoo to decrease the population of the fungi.
Well, aside from staying indoors, those are the treatments, right? But how else can people avoid these skin conditions? How can they prevent them from happening in the first place, aside from just staying completely indoors?
Okay, so during summer, there's a lot of outdoor activities, which is usually the cause of these, an aggravating factor of these conditions. So one of the things that we can suggest to people would be to avoid going under the sun from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. because this is usually the time when the sun's rays are, the sun's UV rays are highest. And going out during this time should be avoided. Exposure to the sun, especially during this time, leads to a lot of skin conditions. Such as heat rash and pityriasis versicolor, but can also lead to much more serious conditions such as premature aging, sunburns, and skin cancer. So prevention, aside from staying out of the sun, from going out of the sun from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we can also apply sunscreen, SPF 50, and reapply this about every 2 to 3 hours, especially if we are going out under the sun. And we can also simply wear protective clothing such as long sleeve shirts, hats, eyeglasses, and the use of umbrellas.
All right, so it has to be SPF 50 or higher. But if it's higher, are those still effective?
If it's, sorry?
So SPF 50 is the minimum.
Yes, if you're going outside, but if you're just inside the house and you're not going outside, then SPF 15 can do, and then you can apply once for the entire day. But if you're going outside of the house, and especially if you have photosensitive conditions like melasma, then SPF 50 is better.
All right. Well, a number of Filipinos are at the beach or hitting the beach this week. What is the ideal skincare for people that are out under the sun during this time, aside from putting sunscreen?
Of course, like I said, sunburn is very rampant during summer. So just in case you develop a sunburn, make sure that you take care of your skin. You can do cold compresses with cold towels applied to the sunburnt area. Sometimes you can also use, if you have aloe vera, plant aloe vera in your house, then you can put some of that into the refrigerator and apply on the burnt skin. Also, dryness is very common during a summer period, so make sure to regularly moisturize at least 2 to 3 times a day.
2 to 3 times a day. That's how people should take care of their skin year round.
Well, some people might need less during times when they are excessively sweating, but there are other people who develop eczema, and so the 3 times a day might be the minimum. So they can even apply 5 or 10 times a day, depending on the skin condition that they have.
Aren't they, what about the products that they should use? Are they supposed to cleanse their skin before they apply all of those moisturizers? Paano po ba yung skincare routine, Doc?
Okay, generally, because the Philippines is a humid country, we really need to take a bath at least once a day to rid of the dirt and the smoke that we get from all the commuting. So, general bath lasting from about 5 to 10 minutes would be good. Avoid overzealous scratching or scrubbing of the skin because that can disturb the epidermal barrier and cause more itching. So just be gentle, avoid highly scented soaps, use a mild soap, and just use your hands to cleanse your skin. And then after cleansing your skin, if you have a specific skin regimen, it's best to apply it. If you are applying a retinoid, a night cream, you apply it at night because it's a photo label or it gets destroyed during the day. So you apply it at night. But in the morning, usually it's just a sunscreen.
I heard, Doc, that yung retinoid daw, you're supposed to apply it right before you turn off the lights because even if you expose it to bright lights, like at least 2 hours, it also affects its effectivity. Is that correct? Or is that a myth?
Not necessarily that very sensitive.
Okay.
But we apply the retinoids at night because it is photolabile. It means that when the sun hits the product, it usually is degraded. So if you apply it in the morning, then it will be of no use. It will not be very effective. But if you apply it at night and it takes you about 1 to 2 hours before going to sleep, then there's enough time for the product to get absorbed by the skin. So not necessarily.
All right. Well, thank you very much for clearing that up. Dermatologist Winlove Mojica. You can get more health tips on Med Talk Health Talk, hosted by Dr. Freddy Gomez, with new episodes every Tuesday, 3:30 p.m.